What is up, everyone? Next Gen Productions here, and welcome to the review of the ZTE Midnight Pro LTE. Much like the ZTE Prestige, the ZTE Midnight Pro features a 5-inch IPS LCD touchscreen that has a resolution of 480 by 854 and has a pixel density of 196, the same as the ZTE Prestige basically. It also has an accelerometer and a proximity sensor on the front. The Midnight Pro LTE runs Android 5.1.1, so most of these features you'll find on the ZTE Prestige as well. This handset will probably never see Android Marshmallow in its future. Moving on to the camera department, the ZTE Midnight Pro LTE features a 5 megapixel rear autofocus camera that records in 720p with features like autofocus, touch focus, self-timer, face detection, smile detection, HDR, and face beauty. And on the front, it features a mediocre 2 megapixel camera. Platform-wise, the Midnight Pro LTE runs a quad-core 1.1 GHz Qualcomm Snapdragon 210 chipset with 1 GB of RAM, a Cortex A7 GPU, and an Adreno 304 GPU. In terms of Quadrant Scores, this device comes in at 8,721 with a CPU of 34,057 and a memory of 3,069. And in terms of Geekbench Scores, this device scores 378 for the single core score and about 963 for the multi-core score. Now if we can go ahead and compare that. By the way, this is a new Geekbench 4, no longer Geekbench 3. So let's see what we got. We're not even on the board for the single core score. And let's see for the multi-core score. We're not even on the board, so that shows you how this device is. Yeah. Storage-wise, the ZTE Midnight Pro has about 8 GB of built-in storage with around 3.1 GB available to the user. The handset can support up to a 32 GB SD card. Pretty standard. Now let's move on to the battery. The handset has a 2,300 mAh Li-on battery that can be replaced. Battery talk time is estimated around 11 hours, while battery standby time is estimated to be around 12 days. Okay, now it's time for the gaming part of this review. Go ahead and play Powerboat Racing for this review again, to give you an idea of how gaming performance is. Let's go. Make sure I don't hit that rock up above. So as you can see, Powerboat Racing, along with many other games, will run just fine on this handset. So you shouldn't have any problems whatsoever. I'm not too sure about any heavy games like Asphalt 8, but I'm pretty sure you could play them with acceptable performance. And going back home, apps pop up on time and little to no lag when going back to the home screen. That's what we like to see in devices like this. In conclusion, when you buy the ZTE Midnight Pro LTE, you're essentially buying the ZTE Prestige. And when you're buying the ZTE Prestige, note that you will be buying the ZTE Midnight Pro, because they're spec'd exactly the same. Have the same 5-inch screen, same resolution, same pixels per inch at 196, and same cameras in the front and in the rear. Also, they look identical, as you can see there, but the Midnight Pro LTE has a different texture in the back as opposed to a rubbery back cover on the ZTE Prestige, and the Prestige is outlined or has a red trim as opposed to a blue trim on the Midnight Pro LTE. So it's all up to you. Comment below which one do you think is better, the ZTE Midnight Pro or the ZTE Prestige. Let me know down in the comments, and that about does it for this review of the ZTE Midnight Pro, and I'll talk to you again in the next video.